So back in 2017, I was already on the path to becoming a full-time musician. The funny thing is, I just didn't know it back then. But the signs were always there. And as someone who has this incredible, almost weird connection to music, the signs, of course, usually appear as a song. I like to think of myself that I've always had this ability to instantly recognize a song that will stick with me forever. I think I also touched upon when I talked about U2's Stuck in a Moment in the previous episode. And you know what? I also felt the same about Pariah by Steven Wilson, featuring Ninet Tayeb, of course. So here's the gist of it. I have a friend who is a big Steven Wilson fan, right? And he always tried to introduce me to his music via Porcupine Tree or other projects. And you know what? This time he was actually successful. So he sent me the video of this song on the day of its release, right, in 2017, and I remember putting it on and just immersing myself in it. It was like this magical moment where the universe itself spoke to me. I don't want to sound too dramatic, but it kind of was. I was a software developer at the time, but not your typical one. I worked as a software developer, but knew I didn't belong there, I just chose to ignore that part and hope it'll go away, but it really refused to do so. And the desire to become a musician sort of resurfaced even stronger through this song, one lyric at a time. I was kinda hooked on it from the start because, in a way, I was a pariah myself. Each and every day I had spent writing code instead of riffs was me being that pariah. I wasn't bad at coding or anything, don't get me wrong, but whenever I thought about the eternal question, who am I? The answer software developer never really felt real, at all. It was just a job and nothing more. I'm a creative person and always have been. From, making 8-bit or 16-bit sounds on Nokia 3310 phones, the old ones, the brick phones that that you couldn't really destroy and instead they broke the floor. So basically from doing music on that phone to getting Guitar Pro and writing elaborate symphonic pieces, this was who I was at my very core, my core being, if you will. I enjoy the software development world because they always advertise this as an incredibly creative world, right? Where you can think outside the box and, you already know how the job descriptions sound. I don't need to repeat them. But the reality of this was always very different, and I could not be the creative person I wanted to be. You could be, but in the confines of some very strict rules that sort of changed randomly depending on whoever was the team lead at the time. Nevertheless, Steven Wilson's Pariah reminded me that hope was not lost, though. I was still there, and by that I mean the true me, the one who writes music and stories, the one who can envision any sound in any possible song. And the chorus? There is nothing more to say about Ninet's voice other than a YouTube comment that goes something like, Ninet's voice isn't only heard, it's felt. And you know what? I felt every single word of that song to the bone. Aha, pun intended. But anyways, there I was, a pariah that needed to begin again. And yes, it does take time. A lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of, ups and downs. But that basically was the moment when the musician's seed, which had been planted long ago, finally started growing or blossoming or something. I don't know, something. But anyways, I am Andrew Miller and I am signing out. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this podcast and I will see you in the next one. Bye!